going to go ahead and launch into some content for you right away. Hopefully it's a resource and activity that you can use this year. And we're going to start by finding out who's in the room. And we're going to do that through an activity that's found within your agenda. And it looks a little bit like this at the top, entitled Personal Inventory for Service Learning Leaders. And we're going to ask you in a moment to find a partner that is someone you don't know very well, and you're going to get an inventory about this person. You're going to do a short, very short interview and find out a little bit about their interests, skills, and talents. Interests being things that you think about, skills and talents being things that you feel like you can do well. And we're going to give you about 2 minutes to find a person and speak to them about these two top things. There's also a lot of other things that you can think about on the bottom of the page, but I think today we're going to focus mainly, for time's sake, on the first two things of your interests and your skills and talents. You might want to spend about 1 minute each going back and forth and sharing. You can choose to write this down in the packet if you want, or maybe just listen, and then we're going to come back together and find out after you've talked with somebody who is in the room and what kind of interests and skills and talents are present today. So you may begin. We're going to give you about 2 minutes to find a partner and begin your interviewing process. But beyond the value of knowing just the one person next to you and what their interests and skills and talents are, we want to collect a little bit about that for ECSL's purposes. When you did that, hopefully you were not too modest about yourself and you actually did describe some skills and talents that you have. And it may have been that you did some things generally about yourself, or it may have been that you shared some things connected to service learning, because that's why we're all here. So we're open to all thoughts. And first, we're going to start with interests, and we're just going to jot down a couple of things that are interests of people in the room. We'll find out who's in the room. So if you can just sort of shout out a few, and I'll record some as we go. Writing. Okay. Sorry?
Politics.
I didn't hear that. Politics. Okay. Art. Our nation's future.
Sports.
Mm-hmm.
Astrophysics.
Nice.
Gardening.
Gardening.
And healthy food.
All right, that's a good start for now. Let's hear about what some of our skills and talents that are in the room. Again, feel free to just shout out some.
Crafts.
Cooking.
Organizing. Theater. Sales and marketing. Technology.
All right. So we'll stop there because I think you can see that it's quite varied. And beyond having just done this short activity, we want to think a little bit about why this might be a valuable activity either to do here as a group, with your students, with your faculty. And we're open to hearing your thoughts on what you think the value of this personal inventory would be if you brought this activity back to your schools. Mm-hmm.
You learn a lot more than you would in a normal situation where it would take you a long time to learn about a lot of different people at one time.
Right, it's a quick way to kind of aggregate information about a lot of people at once.
We very quickly create a sense of connection with people, and we very quickly found things that we have in common.
Mm-hmm. You can develop commonalities, and I think you can also begin to realize what you know about someone versus what you assume about someone ahead of time. It gives you a chance to really get to know them.
You find out where some resources are. Like if I wanted to know about gardening and I met somebody else knows about gardening.
You develop what resources are available to you already to make your lives easier. And if you do bring this back to your classroom, for example, with students, this is something that you could do to establish your classroom culture for service learning at the beginning of the year. And this is something that you can then reference later on in the year once you get into the action stage of your service learning, and you can refer back to your list and see, do we have any skills and talents in the room that we can utilize throughout our service learning process? Any other last thoughts? I think too also that it builds reciprocity, that everybody has something to share, and I think that's a valuable way to set up your culture, whether it be your classroom or with faculty. And so we are going to give you an opportunity to reconnect later with that person that you spoke with in case you did find any resources. But we also want you to be able to continue to use this in the packet if you'd like to take back with you as a resource. And there is one, the one that we did today was for service learning leaders, but there is a version that's for students that you can find in your packet as well. And it looks like, let me show that to you. It's in the back of the personal inventory. Yep, exactly like that. And I think that we wanted to start today building connections between us as partners here today, but we're also going to offer you a lot of opportunities to build connections between curriculum, between social issues, and so now hopefully this will be something that you can use to help you build partnerships with service learning leaders.